What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into the Queen's Lounge podcast. Welcome to the lounge. Of course, I am your homegirl, Shay, and I have another awesome guest with me today. I am so excited to have this young lady on the podcast. She is so phenomenal, and you will actually get a chance to get to know her like I know her once you get to hear her speak. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and give her the floor so she can introduce herself. Ma'am, you want to introduce yourself so the people will know who you are?
Yes, I would love to. And I'm so happy to be here with you all, the Queen's Lounge. I love it. My name is Dayonne Richardson. I have been an educator for going on 10 years. Wow. I've taught in both the US and in China. And recently, I just was the author of my first children's book. And so now I can say that not only am I an educator, but I'm also an author too.
I know that's right. Can add that to the resume. I know that's right. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so let's get into the teaching part of it. Mm-hmm. So give us the credential on exactly what grade you teach.
Okay, so I currently teach third grade at Hogan Prep Elementary in Kansas City, Missouri. And that is my favorite grade to teach. Out of all the years I've taught, third grade is the one I've taught the most. I've taught first, second, fourth. I've done like a college social justice seminar at UMKC. And then in China, I worked with educators K through 6 on interactive math. And
wow.
Yeah, I would say out of all that I've taught, third and college will probably be the top ones.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Now, is Hogan Prep the only school that you taught at?
Well, no, this is my second year at Hogan. I'm a KCK gal, Wyandotte County. And so I taught, I grew up in KCK. So like all of my schools that I went to for elementary, middle, and high school were in that district. And so that's the district that I taught in the longest.
Gotcha.
And then when some of the administrators that I know and love, because one thing I found out about educators, we tend to follow good leadership.
Yes.
We follow good leadership. And so a lot of people who I respected in KCK are now at Hogan.
Wow.
And so that is where I am.
That's awesome. So what made you want to get into teaching?
Okay, so it's a combination of things. I would say one of the biggest things was my first teacher, which was my mom.
Wow.
She was a Sunday school teacher for years at our church. And I would watch her do like these extravagant lessons. And I remember we did like Jonah and the Whale. She had this big old blue sheet for the water.
Oh, wow.
We would go to like the swapping shops and she would get all different kind of things for the kids. And, I just saw her creativity. And I'm like, that's really cool. I was like, that's really cool. That's something I'd love to do.
Yeah.
I fast forward to middle school and high school and having teachers that really pushed me beyond like being mediocre. And I'm like, okay, this might be, this might be the move.
Yeah.
Remembering, my mom in choir rehearsal and all the kids being downstairs and I'm making, coloring book packets with crayons and playing school. And like, if y'all do your work, you get a little daddy snack, like I've known that I wanted to be a teacher since like I was in the second grade.
Wow. That's awesome. And the fact that it was almost implanted in you, from the jump, from the beginning, that's pretty awesome.
Yes. And, you don't realize what you're witnessing, by constantly being around that. But she made an impression because I saw how creative she was. And I'm in her Sunday school class and I'm like, this is kind of cool. And I'm like, this is kind of cool,
yes.
Together, because we learned a lot from her in that time. And so it just naturally became something that I wanted to do. And I tried to say like, well, I'm gonna go into law because, the money.
Yes.
About the income, but man, the passion that I have and the desire for teaching, I couldn't run from it.
Yes. And I wish that you all had the same type of salary, because I really feel like teachers are really underpaid. And I wish that teachers such as yourself had the same salary as lawyers and doctors and, surgeons and those type of things, because the line of work may be different, but the amount of time spent doing it, you know what I mean? Because I often, because I know teachers also personally that have to create their own, work assignments and have to, develop their own. And some teachers even have to spend their own money because the school has exhausted, their budget. And so whatever the teacher wants to do, she kind of is, or he is kind of up to themselves to, kind of pull from their own personal pockets. And so I really credit teachers that not only do it for the teaching, but do it for the love of teaching. You know what I mean? And they actually make an impact on the child's life. I really, really love that, because you guys are really
underpaid. Girl. And it wouldn't be no other professions without teachers.
Okay.
Because you couldn't read, you couldn't do the math.
Okay, none of that. None of that. From the beginning to college. Like, no, for real. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. And you think about all the different things that teachers are to our students, and like feeling the burden of it even more this school year. Like this school year has been intense for the whole country of educators and schools.
Yes.
And it's like, some students have been out of school for almost 2 years, like in person, for almost 2 years. And you feel the weight of that with their emotions,
right?
How they deal with trauma and problems and things like that. And teachers are like burnt out. They're tired. So trying to find a way to balance it all, because we still are creating our own lessons. We still are using our resources, and knowing that our students, they can't retain nothing if they're dealing with so much at once.
That's it. Yeah. And I often hear that because kids are so young, that it's a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be affected by. But truth be told, it's a lot of stuff that they endure that we have no clue that they do. And it's very different from you and I when you and I were growing up. Because when you and I were growing up, there were things that we had to worry about as kids, but there were also things that didn't affect us as much. You know what I mean? There wasn't really a lot that kind of tainted with our childhood. But nowadays, there's so much stuff that kids endure at a young age to where they're really being tainted, and it's really weighing on, their physical, their mental, they're distracted easier, that type of thing. So during the pandemic and having to have kids be at home because schools were shut down, how did that go for you? Like, how did you get through that?
It was intense. And, I know we're going to come to this in a little bit, but that was one of the reasons why I'm grateful on the time that I released my book. Because it was like our country was literally in the midst of a storm.
Yes.
And I think families, we focus so much on like the top of like parents are trying to figure out how things are going to work, how things are going to be affected. But our students were right there in that too.
Right.
And sometimes we overlook them. They were ripped out of school, not able to see their friends.
Yeah.
And for me, I switched schools. So like that was my last time seeing them online. We were never back in person. And so you think about how they're impacted by it and making sure that they are well, emotionally well. And so I saw that firsthand. There were some kids I would have that would be crying on Zoom because they couldn't go to their football practices anymore. Their parents wouldn't let them be in sports because of, the virus. And
right.
Like, when am I going to see you again? And I'm like, I don't think that's, we might not be back in person. And then to not be back in person for another full year.
Right.
It just really impacted them a lot. And I think it impacted their social skills.
Yeah.
Being able to talk and problem solve, when you at home on virtual, it's just y'all on the computer. You can mute them.
Yeah.
Everybody can be muted.
Right.
There ain't no arguments. There ain't no conflict. Nothing. Everybody muted. Versus being back in person, it's just like you got to teach them, how to communicate.
Yeah.
But I know for educators, it was easy because you were at your home. But sometimes when you have a hard day at work, your home is a place of peace.
Yes.
It's a place to rest. Whereas now your home is your work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like, trying to create like a fine line of saying like, I will not do schoolwork after this time. I won't answer any emails, any text messages, because you have to have some kind of boundary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Self-care, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
That's it.
You can't.
That's it. Now, how did you balance? Because I know being in person, there's a set amount of people or a set amount of kids that are in your class. Now, how did you manage that, having to do everything virtually? Was it, splitting up the classes, splitting up the students? Like, how did you do that?
I still had like my full class. I had my full class online, and then we just met like certain times throughout the day, and we did online assignments. But what really messed us up is when we went something called a hybrid, where half of the class or a percentage of the class was in person, and then a percentage was still virtual, because parents might have chose that. Right. That was extremely difficult, because I'd be teaching a lesson and I have to zoom in, the rest of the students. Right. And so I'm like, okay, can you put your answer in the chat? Okay, somebody raise their hand. Turn your mic off. Turn your mic off.
Wow.
Okay. And then having to grade so many assignments in different places.
Yeah.
Assignments on the computer, assignment papers. So that was terrible, because I was just like, can we pick one?
Right. But then at the same time, I can definitely understand that the parents were iffy, and I'm sure the educators were too, because I can just imagine, because I have girlfriends who have kids that are still in school, and they will come to work and be like, oh my God, I have a newfound respect for teachers, because I don't know how they do it. Like, I don't know how they do it. I'm frustrated. Half of the time I can't get on. When I am getting on, it's freezing. They don't understand it. And then if you have kids that take a little bit longer or need the one-on-one type of help, it's harder, because now they're unfocused, because you have 15 kids online. They're trying to struggle to get what they need to get out of the lesson, focusing on trying to pay attention to the teacher. So they were just so frustrated. And I laugh now. Then it was like, dang. Like, man, that's horrible.
It's real. And there was a phrase that I learned in therapy this past year, early in the school year: grace.
Yeah.
Grace. And that is actually like the theme of my new book. That will,
Grace.
Yeah, it'll be released in April. So little, kind of little
plug. I like
that. Grace, like a person who's still impacted by, the virus and everything like that. I had to give myself grace.
Yeah.
I had to give my administrators grace, because one moment we'd be saying we're never going back in person. Then it's like, okay, we are going back. Going back virtual, like I had to give them grace. I had to give my parents grace, because they are not teachers.
Right.
Say like, y'all got to make sure they stay on this. They haven't turned in any assignments. I had to give them grace. I had to give my students grace.
Right.
Acknowledge that this is hard. You think about a kindergartner or a first grader who's virtual.
Right.
I don't know nothing about none of that.
Right.
Students still be struggling with turning stuff in.
Yes.
And so I really had to hone in on grace, because it's not something that's always given to me, but you have to give that gift to yourself as well.
Definitely.
We dealt with a lot at once.
Yeah, that's a lot. And then if you have multiple children.
Oh my God.
If you have multiple children, like, whoo, bless you.
At different grades.
Bless you. Yes.
I had one parent say, I sent her something at the beginning of the year, and she said, which kid's teacher are you? Which kid? And I couldn't.
Now that's funny.
I couldn't be mad, because
right.
So, like trying to show grace and knowing like we expected them to figure out a lot. And knowing that they are so happy we're back in person.
Yes.
Because it shifts the responsibility to where it's more of a partnership.
Right.
It was kind of like, we're
gonna give it to you on your own.
I don't have to
Right. That's pretty much that's how that's gonna go. And I can imagine that 2020 was rough for everybody, not just because of the pandemic, but it was rough for parents and for teachers because parents had to do something that they, send their kids to school for, having to do it at home. You know what I mean? And then educators having to find the balance between juggling, being virtual and not being able to have the kids physically in the classroom, but still being able to give the same type of lesson. You know what I mean? Because I can imagine how very different that would be, not being in person, but still having to make sure that they're understanding it, even if they, are virtual or as if they were in person.
Yes. And the creative in me, there are elements that I loved about being virtual. Like I remember we were studying the water cycle and when it snowed. And I was just like, everybody put your coats on. If you can go outside, let's go get some snow and let's explore it.
Yeah.
And, scramble, and we taking our computers outside and we're like,
oh, that's cute. I love that. Snowing.
And so like those kind of like real life teachable moments are I was like, this is what's up. Like it could be a blessing. But one thing that you kind of pointed out that's true is the gaps that it created by them not being able to get that one-on-one instruction.
Yeah.
Instruction they needed. So we see a lot of gaps in like their reading abilities, math. That is just like, I can't afford to go all the way back, but as I go, trying to pick up those things so that they can be ready for fourth grade.
Right.
Because I want them to know that like, hey, you gonna learn to read. You gonna learn to read, and we're gonna build your stamina up, and I'm gonna equip you as much as I can.
Right.
You.
Yeah. One thing I love about it is I will always see like little things that you planned on doing for your kids to keep them involved. And I loved it. Like I really loved it. It was one of the things that made me feel like I wanted to be in the fourth grade again. Because you always have that one teacher that makes that mark in your life, and you are definitely that teacher. Because not only do you care about, not only care about the kids themselves, but care about what they're learning, what they're intaking, you know what I mean? Taking the time out to make sure that they get it, that they're learning something, that they're prepared for the next grade. Not only that, but I think what's so important is that a lot of kids are, what's the word to use? Their attention span is short. It's hard to keep their attention, and being able to have something that's visual or being able to have them participate more in the classroom to keep them inclusive, I think really helps for them to grasp what and you are that teacher, like you that teacher that's just like, yeah, I got it. And I like it because it goes back to what you said in the beginning, where your influence was your mom and that one teacher that made an impact on your life that gave you what you're giving to your students, that visual, that creativity, you know what I mean? All of that. So the fact that it was already implanted in you from the jump. From the jump, and then now passing it on to your kids. So if the parents are not grateful for the type of teacher that you are, you definitely deserve your accolades, because one, you got through a whole pandemic. That's number one. Okay, come on. That's number one. And then number two, the fact that you had to go back in almost like head first. You know what I mean? It was almost like we went through the pandemic, but ordinary to keep, I would assume, money coming towards the school or people that's paying to keep the building up and running. We got to do something to get them back in the building. You know what I mean? And so we're going to get them back in the building. But you teachers, I mean, you just got to be ready to do it. And for you guys to have to jump in head first, and make sure that lesson plans are together and trying to get the kids back in the routine of doing things. And, because I'm pretty sure the kids was excited to be back in school, but for the educator, it was like, woo, all right, here we go back to having, 15, 20 kids. Now I gotta, get back in the swing of things.
It's real. And, you think about like our mornings when we were virtual, we would be on there for maybe an hour and a half, and then they have a lunch break and then they come back. Versus now, you are at school for 8 hours.
Woo, that's a whole work day.
So it's like their attention is like,
yeah. As the hours go on.
It's real. And so it's just like, okay, I know if I'm bored, they're probably bored. And so it's like, I just naturally try to embed stuff that's going to keep them engaged. Like, I'm even thinking about like my lessons for this week. We're doing area, you know, like, and I saw they did one where you do it with Cheez-Its. And I'm like,
that's cool.
Let's go get some Cheez-Its. You know? Okay. Get a box of Cheez-Its. And that lesson just elevated. You know what I'm saying? And so trying to, yes, the workload is going to be intense, but trying to soften the blow a little bit, because some students have not been in person in 2 years.
Right. That's a long time. That's a very long time. So is it a little smoother now that you guys, I know the kids are probably on break now or getting ready to go on break again.
We got
two. Oh, woo, that's going to go by fast though, because today is already the 5th.
Amen. I'm counting it down, but I would say that I love my class that I have. I love them. You know, they allow me to push them. And they have rose to expectations that I have, even though they might have been a lot at the time. And, you know, they've started to build a community more with one another, and that helps.
Yeah.
Like I said, there wasn't a lot of social skills that they had to do online, to where somebody do something to them, they ready to fight anybody, anything. And I'm just like, why are y'all doing that?
Right.
Chastising you, I'm gonna give you some ways to solve it the best way.
Right.
And deal with that emotion. And like, I had a donor that bought yoga mats for my class.
Oh, that's cool.
Every Wednesday we do yoga. I try to do like a read aloud with it that goes with something I'm noticing they're struggling with. Like, I love to talk, and I know they get that from me because I be all day. But you could be like, all right, man, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
And I read a book, My Mouth is the Volcano. Or if I notice they're being unkind to each other, you know, I've read the book, Each Kindness, that talks about how our words are special. And then like embedding yoga in that. And they really look forward to it. And, you know, it's been a good way to put that emotion somewhere.
Right.
To just be gone.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like finding those type of little, you bomb. Look, I can't wait to have a kid. Like I need my kid to like be born, come out and just go straight to the 4th grade. Like,
come on with it.
I mean, like for real, by the time I have kids and they in school, I'm gonna need you to still be teaching.
We're gonna work that out.
Like, we gotta work that thing out. Like for real. Like for real. Because there's not too many teachers that are impactful. You know what I mean? And I understand the weight and the burden that teachers may carry, because you have those select kids who just don't care. They just at school because they gotta be. You know what I mean? You have those group of kids that actually want to be in school because they want to learn. But then you have to have a teacher that has to have the balance to teach both.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To teach the kid that don't want to be there, but they there. And to teach the kid that wants to hear what you have to say, but, you know, may be distracted because of the other kids. So, man, y'all have one of the toughest jobs outside of being a parent.
It's real. And, you know, the crazy thing is for me, it's like, I fought to be here. You know, for teaching, I had to take like certain tests.
Right.
And there were some tests I took 11 times.
Yeah.
I took 13 times.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't pass it. I had to sit out a year from teaching. And, you know, so it was just kind of like, I really want to do this, but Lord,
right.
This is intense. And so to know like that I fought to be here, I don't take this lightly at all.
I know that's right.
I take this very serious because I know what I had to go through to get to this point.
Yes.
And so when my students are in situations that are like difficult, like a test, because we are always testing. This is hard. I said, boy, do I know. I'm like,
right.
Story time. And they be like, you took that test 13 times. I said, yes. Yeah. And it was $110 every time.
Ooh, gee.
And there was times where, you know, I'd miss it by like 1 or 2 points. And I would talk to my mom and my sister, and I'd be like, y'all, be a teacher. Man, what else can I do? Because this
right.
Like, having them come alongside of me and push me and remind me, no, this is where you're supposed to be.
That's
and
it.
to have my teaching degree, my master's, and all that to say, like, hey, I work for this. You ain't gonna take that.
I know that's right.
They can take a lot of things, but they can't take what you've learned. They can't take your right to be here.
That's it.
And so I know that when I go to school, when I do teach, it's a different passion there to say, like, I ain't here just to play.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all jobs are important to me, and y'all being successful because somebody did that for me.
That's it. And I love it because, and one thing I love about teachers like you that have the passion for it, and it's not just a job, is you can feel it. The kids come home excited about the schoolwork. They come home excited to tell about their day. They come home excited about what they learned. This is what we learned in Miss Richardson class. You know, this is what we're going to learn next week. This is what we did. Like, the kids are excited. And so that just means that the educator, the teacher yourself is impactful, is doing something that's leaving a mark. You know what I mean? And so I pray that there are more teachers that come after you, and that the kids will continue to be impacted by, you know what I mean, you as a teacher. You know what I mean? And so I know that when it comes to some kids, going to school is their outlet, because sometimes it's hard for them at home. And to have a teacher that's going to embrace, to have a teacher that's going to be kind-hearted, to have a teacher that's going to be, you know, strict and hard, but also soft at the same time. Man, you bomb. You bomb.
Thank you, girl.
Listen, girl, you bomb. You out here doing it.
You talking facts that.
Woo-wee.
And it's the beautiful thing is getting opportunities to show the love of Christ.
Yes.
Yes. To show patience, to show grace.
That's
when
it.
Wow.
Yes.
So self-control when you want to.
Woo-wee. Right.
Opportunity to demonstrate that to them in real time. And so I can't just say, this is what I believe, this is what I profess.
Right.
And I'm not showing that at all.
You're right about that. You sure right. So before we get into the book,
yes,
let's get into one more thing about the teaching part. So you have had the opportunity to teach in China.
Yes.
Which is so dope. That is so dope. So is this a yearly thing? Is this something you do every year?
I did it for 2 summers.
Okay.
I want to say it was 2017, 2018, and I was there for an entire month.
Oh, cool.
So like it was with the program called We Teach in China. And educators there to work with educators.
Okay.
China. So they have different focal points. So like there might be a music teacher from America that'll go work with music teachers to give them skills on like how they do it.
Okay.
Ways to, you know, make it better, maybe enhance it. Because one thing they notice in China is that, yes, their children are performing well academically, but that piece. And so it was kind of crazy because I had signed up to teach, but when I signed up to teach, it was just going to be like literacy, reading, writing, like that kind of. And so the coordinator of the program looked at my resume and saw that I got my master's in emphasis in mathematical resilience.
Okay.
So she was just like, "Oh, you do math?" And I said, "Girl, math." And so she's like, "Well, you did your whole, you know, paper on it, your culminating paper." And so I was like, "Okay." And in my mind, I'm just thinking of like all the math classes I had to take over, all of the books about myself, about math from, you know, middle school, high school, and on that I did research in that degree. That was just like, no, I'm gonna be better than this, and I'm gonna inspire my students.
Yeah.
So I went on to teach in China those 2 summers on interactive math skills, and so ways to make math fun.
Oh, cool.
And so I did it from like the lens of like math in real world. So we did fractions with pizzas. We made pizzas.
Cool.
We did shapes. We had a scavenger hunt outside.
That's so cool.
Girl, and then teachers was like, there are shapes really outside. And I said, see, kindergarten teacher, girl, take your kids to the parking lot. Let them look. We did, I dressed like a grandma, And I did a book called The Doorbell Rang, where she brought cookies. We did that for division. And everybody
That's
had
so cool.
Yeah, because as someone who struggled with math, that was how I had to teach myself.
Yeah.
Was math in real ways, because I couldn't learn the formulas.
Right.
Going in one out the other.
And out the other. Yep.
So I was like, okay, let me try to find ways that I can make it real to me. And so when I went to teach in China, they loved it to the point to where they requested me back at that same building the next year.
That's awesome. Have you been back since 2018?
No, because everything kind of
right, the pandemic. Yeah,
but the crazy thing is I still am communicating with them. It's a 12-hour difference in time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so sometimes they'll reach out to me and I'll be like, it's midnight for me.
Right.
I try to stay in contact with them. They'll shoot me ideas like, do you have a read aloud for division? Do you have a read aloud for geometry? And then I'll look and see what I got, and then I'll just send it over to them.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That is so cool. See, you making impacts in somebody else's country. Like, girl, listen, you're impactful. Okay.
The Lord is good.
Yes, he is. Okay, so let me ask you this quick question. When it comes to your lesson plans, does the school give you the curriculum that they want you to teach, or do you just come up with your own lesson plans?
Okay, so we have like set standards that we teach, and then from that, like my team will come up with ideas, and then I just let my creativity kind of go from there.
Okay.
So like right now we're doing like area, and so we had planned on how we were going to teach the area lesson, and then in my mind like, okay, well, I know I'm gonna try to do the whole cheeses lesson, or
yes,
I know Christmas is coming up. Like if we do the area of a present,
cute.
So like I try to find also read alouds, like books that go along with the math concept, to show students that math is just not by itself. It could be in a book, it could be in it's all throughout. But yeah, they provide the standards, and then they say, here you go.
Here you go. Let your creative juices flow. Now, do you do it for a whole week? Like that particular subject for a whole week?
There's some stuff that we unit plan for like further out.
Okay.
Our writing unit, like if we're doing like feature articles or something like that, we'll plan that out for the whole quarter.
Okay.
But for like content that switches every 2 weeks, then we do that week by week.
Okay, cool. So listen, not only are you the woman behind the teaching, but you're an author as well. Okay. Yeah. So let's get into it, shall we? Period. Look, she came ready.
I said, let me get my book out.
Came ready. I'm interested to hear more about the book. So how did you get started with wanting to be an author? I know that writing the book kind of stemmed from the pandemic and, going through the storm and things like that. So how did you actually start creating this book, which then led you to be an author?
Yes. Okay. So it was kind of wild how it happened. I would probably say like 3 years ago, I had went on a life-changing trip with one of my teacher friends. We had went to Egypt.
Oh, cool.
We had went to Egypt. Girl, that trip changed my whole life.
Oh, wow.
It was such a beautiful moment. And from there, I remember telling my friend Bobby, I was like, yo, I think I want to write a book. And I was like,
wow.
Like the love story between me and God, like how he's always looked out for me, how he's always protected me. But that's like, that's just like an idea, right? So fast forward to 2018, I was coming back from China that summer. I was coming back, and on the plane, it was like some turbulence, right? A little bit of turbulence, and I'm like, oh snap, what's going on? But like as I'm on the plane in the middle of turbulence, God gave me that entire book. As I'm on and so I'm on my phone, and the words are just pouring out of me. I'm just typing up on my phone the entire book about a storm, about overcoming a storm and the purpose of a storm. And I like wrote that whole book out on that plane ride back. Now, of course, the plane ride is super long coming back.
Right.
But I had wrote that entire book on my phone. And so I get off the plane and my mom is there to pick me up, my nephew, and we do our hugs and all that. And I tell them, I was like, y'all, I think I wrote a book on the plane. Like, you did what? I was like, I think I wrote a book. And so I'm in the car with them and I read them the book. And my nephew, he was like, read it again. And I'm like, maybe this is a good book. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something here. And so from there, my prayer started changing of, Lord, connect me with people who can help me publish this book. I don't even know how to do any of that. Doors started getting open for me to go to an author's conference for me. And then with it being in a pandemic, once it was time, it allowed me to balance, publishing my book and still teaching. Versus, girl, if it was now, I wouldn't be able to do that. Making phone calls to different companies to try to find an illustrator. It was a lot of behind the scenes things because I self-published it. But the wild thing was how everything was just orchestrated to where the book was able to be published by the end of the summer.
That's awesome.
It came on that plane ride, girl, and it was.
I know that's right.
It was so bananas. I said, I don't even know. I had to reread what I wrote. I said, dang, that is a hard book. And it was such a crazy thing because it's a children's book, but it's also my testimony. Like in life, I've overcome so many storms, from divorce to not being my teacher test, having to take it over and over again, losing friends,
right?
And seeing that in the midst of all those storms, things grew from that. From that, I feel like that season of not being able to pass my test, that made me a better educator.
Ain't
nothing to play with.
Listen,
you want to be here, you're gonna have to earn this.
That's it.
And so it shows like storms, they seem hard, they seem difficult, but some of the most beautiful things can come out of it, and they should.
Right. That's awesome. They say if there's no rain, nothing grows.
Girl, that part. I'm telling you, and it's been beautiful for my family too, because Emery, my nephew, was the first person I read the book to. So that is who my main character is based off of.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I sent the illustrator his picture, and the character is named after him. I did the book to him, and so the new book is dedicated to my niece.
Oh, I love that. That's so awesome. And the fact that you were able to, and I love something about when God gives you something and it's from God because it's ordained and it just flows. It just comes so easy. You know what I mean? Because he gave you the idea of wanting to write a book, and then on your plane ride home just gave you what to say, what to put in it. You know what I mean? The flow of it, connecting you to the right people. And I think that had a lot to do with you being specific in your prayer, being specific in what you've asked, what you're asking God to do. So man, he's awesome. He's really awesome.
He be working it out better than
Listen.
I mean, like I think about, I knew my illustrator, and I knew like how I had found the illustrator and everything like that. And it's one of my old administrators had reached out to me and was like, hey, you want to go out to dinner with us? And it was her and some of her teacher friends. And, yeah, so we all at our table, and everybody's sharing, what good things they got going on. And they came to me and they're like, Dayonne, what good things you got going? I was like, well, I just wrote a book. And a lady to me, she says, who's your printer? And I was like, a printer? I was like, no, I'm self-published. She's like, no, but who's printing your book? And I was like, I don't have anybody. And she's like, well, I'm a printer.
Shut up.
Mind you, I wasn't even gonna go to that dinner because I was so tired from teaching and everything. I was like, I'm gonna go. Meet a printer. She starts hooking me up with people who can print the book. It's just another additional relationship, a partnership.
Right.
Book business. And so, like, when I say things have just been orchestrated, they really have.
That's awesome. Now, one thing that I mentioned earlier to you is I love the fact that there is this cute doll that goes along with the book. Yes. And I love it because it reminds me so much of those scholastic book fairs we used to have in school growing up. And every so often you will see a book that has like a character or something that you can kind of mock with the book. That's what this reminds me of. It reminds me of a story, but a visual as well. And I love that. It is so cute.
Thank you, girl.
It is really, really cute. Now, how did that come about?
Okay, so that kind of came about, and like you were saying, you remember a stuffed animal. You remember that comes along with the book. And one of my fellow author friends, she wrote a book that the main character is a piano. And he has a little plush piano that she carries around with her. And I'm like, that is so cute.
Yeah.
And so it started me on the process of like figuring out how to get an Emery doll. And I will say kind of like a little nugget as again.
So I'm getting all the nuggets today, all the exclusives. Okay.
We have some things that are on the way.
Okay.
Some more Emery dolls into some homes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. So when you purchase the book, you can also purchase the Emery doll. Is that in the works as well?
Yes, that's awesome. You can purchase them together. And so I think that, like you said, it's just something special of you reading your book and you got your Emery with you.
Yeah. I love that.
Yes, so it's in the works, it's on the way. And I'm grateful to be able to give an exclusive here.
Yes. Yeah, only on the lounge. Only on the Queen's Lounge. Period.
It's under wraps for a minute.
Yes, I love it.
I'm so excited about it. And you think about how much that can elevate the reading time, knowing you got your with you.
That's awesome. Now we're gonna get a Gracie doll too, right?
You know, Grace doll.
I mean, you gotta come with the Gracie doll.
Grace doll. Okay, she
yes.
Can't wait. And yes, you know, like thinking about all the things that are to come, and just excited to get these in families' homes because you know, I know that I talk to my students about how they're feeling and the emotions, things like that. And these books that I try to publish, it gives families opportunities to have those discussions as well. You know, like we know as adults what grace means, but now families have a chance to say, this is what grace means. How can you show grace to your brother who's getting on your nerves right now?
Right.
How can you show grace to yourself when you didn't get the score you wanted on an assignment?
That's it.
And so I'm excited to get this book into families' homes and to continue to get I Told the Storm in homes, because some kids take it literally. You know, if there's a thunderstorm, they're afraid of it. But I've also had families that took it like dealing with puberty and not knowing how to handle that. Like,
I
don't know what's going on in my
body. Right. Yes. That's definitely true. I love that. Now I know you can't give me all the tea, but we can expect the book Grace to come out in April. That's something you're working on now. I am so excited about that because I Told the Storm is a hit. Emery, the doll is a hit. So I'm excited about this next level of the new book that you're about to release in April. The Gracie doll is going to come along with that. And I know that the I Told the Storm is already blessing homes. So it's only going to be kind of like a whirlwind once, you know, God releases you to just put it everywhere. So I'm excited about that.
I am so excited. I'm so grateful because, you know, you think about how people share the things they're dealing with and how it's a blessing to others. You know, people say like, Dayonne, I want to write a book. I say, yo, write the book.
Yes.
What you have, someone else needs.
That's it.
And you not thinking it's important, someone else can be blessed by that in a big, big way.
Yes.
I know what this book meant to me. And it's a reminder. I read my book sign and somebody asked, like, what does this book mean to you now that it's done? Like, does it mean that you don't feel anything about storms? I said, no, it's a reminder to me that the storms have a purpose.
Yeah.
One, I'm never by myself. I think about the book. Emery wasn't by himself in that book. He had his mom with him. He had God with him. And when I went through any of number one of those storms, I always had my family with me.
That's it.
There to support me and remind me God's purpose through it all.
Yes.
Now is no exception. Storms ain't stopping. It's just
ain't. Yeah. They sure don't stop. Ooh, I wish they did.
Grab me and you both.
Unfortunately, they don't. Okay.
No more rain. The flowers are
they like God, come on, how much more rain they got to do? Like, because at this point it's flooding.
It's floods now.
Okay.
The plants, they don't need no more water. They
not at all. They're over moisturized. Okay. They overwatered. Okay. No, for real. Listen, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. It has been awesome. I got to actually know a little bit more about the woman behind the book. I love that. Teacher, author, educator. It's awesome. Like, your teaching goes beyond teaching. Like, you're educating. I love it. I absolutely love that. And I am looking forward to this new book you got hitting the streets here pretty soon.
And I'm telling you, when you see this new Emery doll, hey, listen, I'm nature with the queen. When you see this new Emery doll, I mean, he is adorable.
Oh,
he is adorable.
I love it.
It's gonna fit perfectly in somebody's hands. That's all I know. Arms, and it's gonna be it's I'm so excited. And you think about the partnerships that took place today. My guy, he's been really helpful to help place. And so we are just on pins and needles waiting to drop it.
I know. That is so awesome. Well, I knew it was a reason for this glow. It wasn't just about the book. It wasn't just the book. Okay.
The Lord is good.
Okay, because this glow is big. I mean, it's bright. Okay.
It ain't just the lamp. It ain't just
the light is good, but that ain't it.
Wait, there's more.
Right. I love it though. That is so awesome. You got a lot to glow about. You really do. You have a lot to glow about. And I'm looking so forward to hearing about the Grace book. And I know you'll be, making your announcements here and there and kind of introducing it to the world before it actually, comes out. So I'm looking forward to. Now, are you going to do another book signing for the new book you got coming out?
Yes. Now, the difference between this new book and I Told the Storm, I self-published it.
Okay.
Versus this book, I do have a publisher, which the girl needed. I'm back teaching in person.
Yeah.
I can't dedicate that amount of time. And so I did need some support. And so I do have a publisher now. And so I'm excited to do more speaking engagements, maybe get into like Barnes and Nobles and some of the other libraries and bookstores that I wasn't really able to do last year, Amazon,
right.
So I'm really looking forward to releasing this book because we're gonna do a book signing and I'm trying to do some touring.
Yes. That's awesome. So does the I Told the Storm and the Grace book, does it kind of go hand in hand?
There will be some overlap. You might see some characters that you are familiar with.
Right.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yes. And so the official title for the new book is called Our Gift Grace.
I love that. Listen, I'm gonna be looking forward to April. I'm gonna be eyeing you. I'm gonna be eyeing you like, okay, sis. It's January. Where we at?
We trying to get some extra info. What's going on?
Right. Let me get a peep of the doll. Let me just see a little bit of it.
Right. I get a little.
I love that. Okay, so before I let you go, we gotta play this game, right? So the game, it's not really a series of questions. It's more so what you prefer. I'll put it that way. So it's kind of like a this or that.
Okay.
Type of thing. Okay. So let me pull it up. Now, since all the guests that I've had on the show are all women, this should be real easy for you to choose what you prefer. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I like playing this game because it gives me an idea of the type of stuff you all like.
Okay.
So let's get started. Number 1, heels or flats?
Ooh.
Does it depend on the occasion?
Option in?
Yes.
Tennis shoes.
Okay. That'll work. Okay. Natural or relaxer?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with natural because I've been natural for a while. I had locks.
I remember that.
Yes, but I can't go back to the cream crack. I can't go back to the perm.
You know what? I have done my transition to natural, and it has been a struggle.
I believe it.
Woo, Lord, it'll be 2 years this month.
Did you do the big chop?
I did not. I didn't have to.
Praise the Lord, girl.
I didn't have to. It just grew itself on out. Wow. And like every once in a while when I would go get it braided or something like that, I would have her like clip the ends or something. But for the most part, it just grew itself out.
Wow, girl.
So I was okay with that because I was scared I was gonna have to do the big chop. If I would have had to do the big chop, I would have been like, yeah, no, I'm cool.
But you would look good. You would look good with shorts.
So, because everybody can't rock this.
No, but you would look good with the kind of like low in the back a little bit.
Yeah. A little something at the top. Yeah. Listen, I'm glad I didn't have to try it. Because I don't know what I would have did. Right. Okay. Next one. Comedy movies or romance movies?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with romance with a little crime in it. I love the crime.
With a little crime in it. You got a favorite comedy movie?
Favorite comedy. There's
so many of them out there.
It is. I'm gonna give you an old comedy I love. All About the Benjamins.
I love that movie. I was watching it the other day on Tubi.
Well, I love Tubi because they got some good ones. I just was watching Enough on there.
Where are you? I was watching Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
See,
I know. Tubi always gonna get you together because they got the 1990s, early 2000s cinema movies. Those are cinemas, not movies. Cinema. Yeah.
They classics.
Yeah, they are, definitely. Okay, next one. A staycation or a vacation?
Vacation.
Yes. Anytime I can get up out of Missouri. Woo.
Where we going?
Okay.
Where we going? When
my husband always makes fun of me because I'd be like, okay, babe, we got plans to go on such and such trip. While we're on that one, I'm planning the next one. He was like, babe, why though? Like, we ain't even left this one yet, but you're not understanding.
We in vacation.
Okay, I'm not planning on staying home long. Yes. Come on, sir.
Where we going?
Okay. Well, as long as we going, we going. Exactly. Okay, next one. Dresses or pants?
I do like my dresses. I'm gonna say, especially if we got pockets.
Ooh, I love me a good pocket on a dress or pants.
Don't let it have some good pockets.
Yeah, deep ones too, though.
Some deep pockets.
Yes.
I'll probably say dress because you could do a little something with. You could dress it up, dress it down.
You can. Dresses are very versatile.
Yeah.
Very true. Okay, next one. Lipstick or lip gloss?
Lip gloss. And mine is usually Vaseline, girl. It's usually Vaseline.
Yep. Take it old school. You know they got the little mini ones you carry in your purse now.
In my purse, got a little bitty.
And they got the tube ones too.
It's such a boom boom.
Yeah, real quick apply and you good. Yeah. And it lasts. It lasts too. It lasts longer than chapstick. Tell you that. No, for real. Okay, next one. A full face or a natural bead?
Girl, I couldn't full face myself if I tried, girl. It'd be like, this is a different color than my neck. The most I do is my eyebrows maybe, and then and my Vaseline. Okay. Like when it's a special occasion, I do try to get my face done up.
Yeah. That's the only way that I will wear a full face, is if it's somebody else doing it.
Yep.
Yep. For me, I'll put on a little foundation. But I had to actually go to like a makeup store so they can match my skin tone.
That part.
I had to do that. I'll do some lip gloss and I'll do like some mascara. Yep, that's about it. But the blush and the undertone and the eyelash, somebody has to do that for me.
Good.
Yeah.
I was at church today and I saw a woman, and from her side, I saw her lashes. And I'm like, them are gorgeous.
Yes.
But them would have been bumping all up against my glasses.
Okay. And when you wear glasses, you can't do a lot. You got to just keep your lashes natural. Right. You can't do a whole lot with glasses on. I know the feeling. Okay, next one. A sundress or maxi dress?
Okay. I probably say sundress.
Okay.
I like it to blow in the wind a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And they're real cute. Real cute. And they're a little bit shorter than maxi dresses.
Yes.
So I like it. I definitely like it. Okay, next one. Pantyhose or bare-legged?
Girl, I ain't put no pantyhose on. Unless it's cold.
Okay. Every woman that I have talked to said that same thing.
It done jack me up though, because we be outside at recess and I be cold, girl. My little knees be shaking.
That's funny. I do not like pantyhose, but I can be okay with what do they call them? Fishnets.
Yes.
I can wear those. I can definitely wear those. But I'm so glad that we don't have to wear pantyhose, because first Sunday was it. You was in pantyhose on the first Sunday. The little sheer ones. Yep. You was singing in the choir, you was wearing pantyhose. You was doing anything that deemed you to be in the front, or being seen or doing something. You was wearing them. Yeah, you was wearing them. And especially in the summertime.
And how does all get out? I remember when I went to college and my friend took me to church, and my mom, she used to pick me up for church when I was in college, but my friend, and she's like, "Where your stockings at?" And I said, "I ain't wear them." Girl, where your stockings? I ain't wear them.
She was surprised, like, wait a minute.
Where your stockings?
Yeah, she asking like you was supposed to know where your stockings at.
Dang, she don't wear them.
Right. Like, ma'am, I don't wear them. Okay, next one. Tennis shoes. Now, I know you mentioned tennis shoes over heels or flats. So, would you do tennis shoes or sandals?
Ooh, I probably do sandals, especially if my toes is done.
Ooh, that's the only time I'm gonna wear them.
Or if all the polish is gone. Because like it be French tips at a point, because you just let it.
Yep, let it grow all the way out to the tip. Yep. Because that's the only time I will have my feet out, is if my feet are done.
That part.
Yep, the only time. Okay, next one. Skirts or shorts?
Ooh. I probably would do shorts. But like the shorts that are like the Bermuda shorts or something like that. But I don't really have too many. Well, matter of fact, I do got more skirts. Let me say skirts.
Oh, okay.
A lot of flowy long skirts.
Yeah. And you know what I've gotten into? I've gotten into the like schoolgirl skirts, like the pleats.
Ooh.
I got 2 of those. I've really gotten into those because I really like them.
Those are cute too.
They are very cute.
Put you a little white shirt with them.
Yes. Very cute. I like those. Okay, last one. Wedges or boots?
I love the boots. I love the boots. There's a store I go to every year because I know they got a sale.
Yes.
And I have 2 pair of boots.
Yes.
Hard on shoes. That's just hard on shoes. And I know, like, when the winter comes or fall, that's my favorite season to wear those. Yes.
And they always come out with the best boots.
Oh my goodness, they do. And then like my friend Mimi, she showed me this little trick. So when you wear high heel boots, or like a high heel boot, you put those fuzzy socks on. Because they give you a little bit more cushion.
Yeah.
You can stand up in them longer.
Yeah.
Heels today to church, my heel boots, and I got on fuzzy socks.
Oh wow. Did that work for you?
It works perfectly. Because it gives cushion.
I'm about to try that.
Put your fuzzy socks on.
I know. And I love me some good fuzzy socks. Shoot, I'm about to try that. I like that. Well, listen, ma'am. Thank you so much. That's all I have for you today. I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to come kick it with me on the lounge, for me to get to know a little bit more about you, the author, the teacher, the educator, just the woman in general. I have learned so much stuff about you, and you are just awesome. Like, for real. You were so dope. And it was such an honor and a pleasure to get to know you a little bit more today.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor being here, chatting with you. It felt like we were just hanging out, girl.
I know. Hey, that's what the lounge is. We just chilling.
So, yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share, and for dropping some exclusives here.
Yes.
I appreciate the opportunity as well. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. So I'm gonna give y'all the spiel. If you don't know, I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook.com at the Queen's Lounge Podcast. You can also find me on Instagram at the Queen's Lounge Podcast. You can find me wherever you listen to your podcast. I'm on Spotify, I'm on Castbox, I'm on Apple Podcasts, I'm on all that. So if you are there to listen to a podcast, you are there to listen to the Queen's Lounge. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Sis, before I let you go, if there is anybody that wants to purchase a book from you, give us the info.
Okay, so you can purchase my book exclusively on my website. It is DayonneNecole.com. And it's DayonneNecole.com. And also, if you purchase a book and you use the code Queen's Lounge, you can get 10% off.
And make sure y'all hit her up for a book. Christmas coming up. The babies, they need some books to put on the bookshelves in their rooms. It's an awesome read. Go ahead and get it for the babies, get it for the children, nieces, nephews, get it for the next door neighbors' kids, get a whole bundle of them and give them to your kids, school kids, all that good stuff. We want to definitely be a blessing to this woman right here when purchasing her book. So y'all heard her. Go ahead and go to her website. Click on her the link to purchase the book. You can get 10% off by using the Queen's Lounge. Well, sis, thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay, talk to you soon.
All righty, bye-bye.
Bye.